if you're trying to get the most reach on LinkedIn for, the posts that you're putting out there, for the visibility of your profile and so on, what are some tips you can give to people? Should they be bothered about reach, first of all? And if you feel they should be, then what are some tips that you would give them to try and increase that and ramp it up?
Well, obviously reach is, having more people discover you, right? So it is a good thing. And, but just having them discover you isn't enough. You also want them to engage with you. So as you're getting this ready to maximize that reach, you've got to maximize the value that you're presenting in the system, right? So, if you are resharing quotes from Shakespeare, that's okay. That's fun. Some people enjoy it. If you are creating content that solves people's issues, that makes you kind of the authority in that area, that's going to have further reach, right? And so you really have to look at it in the sense of what are you bringing to the table? And, does that audience want that? And that's how you're going to get that reach. Too many people get so tied up into the algorithm says, right? And, the issue with the algorithm is it is designed to change and to basically manipulate the member. So as you think you know what it is, because of past history says this, and this happens. So if I follow that tomorrow, I will get greater reach. Basically, you're falling into a trap because that's historical data predicting the future. Doesn't always work, So the real thing that they will never actually exclude from the algorithm, right, is valuable content and engagement. So if you can deliver your value and then you can engage those who read it and really kind of start the conversation, those are two things the algorithm will always reward and will never eliminate. So that should be your focus if you really want to get that reach out there and you want to expose it to others. One of the best tools right now on LinkedIn for reach, but you have to use it responsibly, is polls. The reason polls do so well is they're really easy, right? You ask me a question, I can, select a multiple choice and I can move on. I can give you a reaction. I might even want to explain my choice. And that's what most people do. And because of that particular post will have greater reach. But if you're doing things like on bagels, right? What's your favorite bagel? If you're not a baker, that's not a good poll, right? So make sure it is consistent with your brand and that it is adding value and really opening a conversation. And what people find as they follow you, if you do this right, a lot of the gold actually isn't in the post or in the poll, it's in the comments. And that's where they can interact with other people who are interacting with you. And that really builds a tribe. So use polls, but use them, in brand and only add value. Don't do the junk because people will see it as junk. It's just like spam, right?
And kind of the hidden message in there, Kevin, if I can extract it out, is not all reach is as valuable as other reach. So, you could put out a poll that says, do you prefer cats or dogs, or should my next phone be an iPhone or an Android? And yeah, you might get huge engagement on that, and you might get huge numbers of people seeing you, but how many of them are your ideal customers or your ideal next employer? Whereas if you ask a question that is more tailored to the audience that you're trying to reach, you might have less reach by doing that. It might not hit, it might not get as many responses and as many eyeballs, but the relevance of those people to what you're trying to achieve is going to be far greater.
Well, absolutely. And it does become part of your brand. Every action you take builds your brand or takes away from your brand. One of my biggest posts did 500,000. It went crazy. And I think it had over 700 comments, and I responded to every single one of them. It consumed 3 to 4 days, almost full time, but it was off brand. I had asked a question of whether or not people should put a COVID vaccinated badge on their profile would that help them gain work? Because I had seen it out there, right? Amazing that conversations had nothing to do with LinkedIn, nothing to do with finding a new opportunity, nothing to use that as a tool. It became arguments, right? And it became very political and very alienated. And, I was having to do a lot of maintenance and then even deleting, blocking people. It absorbed all that time. And I wish I never had posted it. So, be sure it's on brand and think about even the small details. I never even thought about it in the way that it actually turned out. So sometimes our best posts are not on brand, or sometimes they're not what we think they're going to be, right? So you got to be real careful.
Yeah, absolutely.